been kind of crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Monday has been the crazy day for the last several weeks. And today was no different, as PlayStation fired back after last week's madness. And they said, you know what? We are going to buy Bungie for $3.6 billion. Now, of course, this is nowhere near the deal last week with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, but it's still a pretty big deal. The one thing that everybody was obviously concerned about is, was Destiny going to now be a PlayStation-only game? And from everything that was said today, the answer is no. But in recent months or years, with everything that Microsoft has been buying, PlayStation has kind of run out of good shooters. And so they were like, you know what? We're just going to buy one of the best ones. But not just that. We are buying the team, so to speak, that made the original Halo. And so not only are they buying Destiny, but they are buying future shooter potential and any other game that they might release. So very similar to the previous deals that we've seen with Microsoft and Call of Duty as an example. Again, Bungie with Destiny is going to remain on every platform, which is fine, but what PlayStation is really looking at are those new games, and the new games that Bungie releases will be the games that are PlayStation and probably PC only. So yeah, the big fight between PlayStation and Microsoft continues. PlayStation was also out there today saying, oh yeah, we're not done buying studios either, Microsoft. Bam, bam. So it's going to be interesting to see what else PlayStation decides to buy this year. And honestly, I don't know if we'll see any more mega purchases from Microsoft. Between the one they just did and Bethesda, Microsoft has burned a lot of money. So they might be good for the rest of the year, or maybe towards the end of the year, maybe they buy something small. And again, for them, small could still be $1 billion. But yeah, be interesting to see where this fight continues to go, and what happens with Bungie, and what happens with Destiny, and what is going to be their next game that is a PlayStation exclusive. So very, very interesting stuff. Next story actually comes out of World of Warcraft, of all things. As you can see, World of Warcraft announced it is happening. Cross-faction dungeons, raids, and rated PvP. They are finally adding that, and I think that's going to make a lot of people in the WoW community very, very happy. One thing that WoW has done really well over the years is actually their cross-faction, cross-server, cross-whatever, jumping into a queue, and it's actually able to pull from all kinds of servers. It's very, very good, like, architecture from their game. So yeah, that got announced today, and yeah, it's gonna be very, very cool. The one thing that I said on Twitter though was, isn't it kind of weird that you'd have the two different factions and dungeons and raids together? Doesn't that go against some of the lore? Apparently it doesn't matter, so who knows. Next story, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is planned for a reveal at some point this year, the producer confirms. Because, yeah, that game came out a good solid, what, 2, 3, 4 years ago, and we've basically been left on a cliffhanger since then. And, yep, finally going to get some information about Cloud versus Sephiroth Round 2, and just where that story is going to go. So very, very, very exciting stuff right there. And then the last sort of big news story is they announced that MLB The Show 22 is going to be released on April 5th. But most importantly, Xbox Game Pass Day 1. And you know what? At the moment, Sony is not able to match that. That is like one of the big things that is absolutely destroying Sony. The fact that Microsoft can put a little money into something like that, and they're like, oh yeah, Game Pass Day 1 for essentially free, but you know what I'm saying. It's just making Game Pass an even better value day after day after day. Very, very cool stuff. Well, next, let's go ahead and I'm going to flip screens. We are going to kill the music, and we're going to get into the trailer time portion of the show. We have 5 trailers to watch. Let's go ahead and start out with this one. This is another game that's coming out here in about a month and a half, I think. We have another trailer for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I'm actually really looking forward to this game. I believe this is a class trailer. So they're going to show off for the first time the Graveborn and the Spore Warden. So let's check it out.
Welcome to the Wonderlands. A majestical world full of fearsome beasts and dangerous daring do. To survive, you must gather your courage and all the guns and spells you can find. For those enamored,
I should mention, for those who don't know what this is basically D&D Borderlands.
Graveborn are high risk, high reward, trading damage for health. Pay the blood price and unlock devastating dark power. Plus, they've got themselves a cute little demi-lich. Could be cursed, who can say? But if bones and brimstone speak to you not, you can always take a walk on the wild side. Spore Wardens are your classic nature lovers. Of course, to love nature, sometimes you have to, shoot nature. What I'm saying is not all nature is good, except for this handsome fellow. Meet your trusty sidekick. Should foes abound in endless numbers, you can always blow them away. No, get it? Because they're frost you know.
That class looks kind of cool.
Did I mention that if you multi-class, you can have double pets? It's true. Welcome to the Wonderlands.
March 25th. But yeah, that game has been shown off multiple times. It looks really, really good. Next up, we have a trailer for a game that everybody in chat loves. And they just keep updating it, and they just keep making it better. Let's take a look. In 4K. They did mention the other day that they're adding DLSS to this game and DirectX 12. So it's going to look even better, and it should play smoother, too. Going to Australia. They need to show the F-18 flying by some tower. That's very red. I think the game looks better every time they do a pass on it. It's crazy. plane is that? Guess I didn't realize how many observatories there were in Australia. Oh, really, Mikey? That's crazy. Play it now. Game's a lot of fun. All right, next trailer. We were talking about it earlier. Let's check out this Waylanders. Again, this trailer was from about 6 months ago, so... Like, visually, I don't know if it's better or worse at this point. Well, it wouldn't be worse necessarily, but don't know if it's better at this point. But let's check it out. We'll be playing this game tomorrow.
Stepping across 1,000 years takes only a moment. This is a different time. Filled with castles and high stone walls. With great temples in honor of a god you do not know. And heresy is swiftly punished.
It's almost more of a cinematic style trailer,
While
just
magic
showing the
hides
areas.
in mountain caves and deep forests. Away from mortal eyes. Where will you go, Torchbearer, to continue your story? Where will you seek your lost companions? Will you find mortals reborn in the villages of Galicia? So full of lively taverns. And boisterous brothels.
Cover your eyes, chat.
Will you brave the dark dungeons of the Grand Inquisitor? Where imprisoned immortals are caged. Or enter the castle of the Knights Templar. Who will accompany you on this journey to save the past of the Celts from the future? Find and awaken these
The
old
golden
souls,
horseshoe.
for the fate of magic is at stake.
Like, I don't even know if there's, like, different classes. Do you make a character? Like, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I hate that YouTube ad. It's so stupid. Hero Wars. Get out of here. All right. 2 trailers left. This next trailer is for a game that we have seen a couple times. I know Iowa Rifleman is looking forward to it very, very much. So this is the character and story trailer 3 for Triangle Strategy. Get out your switches. But yeah, this is the one, like I said, we've seen it a couple times. It looks really, really good.
This is my revenge against myself for being
kind of a
so
pixel art game.
powerless then. I will not repent. I will devote my life to atoning for my incompetence.
Benedict Pascal, dutiful servant to Serenoa Wolffort. He has watched over the Wolfforts for a generation and is willing to do what he must to see his new
It's like some
lord
nice
succeed.
pencil art.
If blood is to be shed, then we shed it together. In this, we are of one resolve.
Heed well the advice of your friends and subjects, and choose your steps carefully.
Your master will never have our loyalty, even if it means the end of the 3 high houses.
Then I pray
Fire
something
Emblem
more
all over
than
again.
death awaits us both.
However, I was taught that for every laugh, somewhere a tear is shed.
And I would rather not harm one of our own, could we avoid it.
He does not bend to rebuke.
I care only that you and the legacy of House Wolffort are safe and secure.
He serves House Wolffort first and foremost.
That guy's dead.
Even if it means defying his allies.
What in the... Benedict, have you gone mad?
Yes, I have.
Might, deceit, or diplomacy. House Wolffort moves to retake the royal capital from the clutches
And I believe
of
the
their
game is fully
enemy.
voice acted too,
3 strategies lay before them.
which is highly
me to ask
unusual
once
for this
more.
type of game.
Destroy the floodgates, inundating the city. Victory would be assured, but the human toll would be heavy.
If we have a sure shot at winning, we need to take it, no matter the consequences.
Sneak into the enemy camp under the cover of night and slaughter their leaders in one fell swoop.
Brute strength isn't the only way to reclaim the city. We can strike at night and defeat their commanding officers.
Level the bridge to the city, cutting off the enemy forces from the capital and keeping its citizens safe.
If we encircle the castle, we could negotiate with them.
Your choice will determine the fate of Glenbrook.
Kill everyone.
Feats of valor become your strength. Reward experienced units with medals to promote their class.
Whoa.
Their newfound talents will pave the way to victory.
Never stop learning.
And new tools will open new dimensions in strategy. A master keeps their weapons sharp. With special upgrade materials, each unit can enhance their unique weapon. A fully upgraded weapon can unleash power for weapon skills.
It's very, a
Deciding
very
who to give
detailed
your
system. I
limited
like it.
resources to will prove key to emerging victorious. The future is in your hands.
Gustadolf meant to force this battle from the start.
Oft we must travel the only road available to us. You'll have to get through me!
This country was not built with a big share of sacrifice. Of that,
Everything I've got!
You struggle just as we do for any scrap of salvation.
This must work. Alas, compassion is easily trampled. It can only exist so long as it has an army at its back.
A tactical RPG that will challenge your convictions.
March 4th. I'd have to verify. I don't know if that's also coming out on Steam. Let me verify here just real quick. Because I can't remember if it's a Switch only or if it's also on PC. It looks like it might be Switch only. But yeah, that game looks really good. Like I said, we've seen it several times now. But yeah, looks great. All right, final trailer of the night is another class trailer for Lost Ark. So let's take a look. Here we go.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Arix and welcome to the world of Lost Ark. Arcasia awaits, a world full of mysteries, monsters, dungeons, demons and so much more. But in order to embark on your adventure, first you must make a character and choose a class, and therein lies the reason behind this video. Today we're taking a look at one of the 5 main classes in Lost Ark, the Martial Artist, as well as the associated advanced classes to help you make up your mind for when you dive in.
I'm gonna be a tornado.
I want to give a quick shout out to Amazon for very kindly sponsoring this video. Don't forget, if you want to find out more about Lost Ark, you can click the link in the description box down below. Now, Lost Ark has 5 main classes for you to choose from: the Warrior, Martial Artist, Gunner, Mage and Assassin. And each of those classes is then broken into an array of advanced classes, or subclasses to use another commonly known term. In total, between the 5 classes, there are 15 advanced classes, giving you plenty of ways to play the game based on your preferred playstyle. But in this video, we're going to be focusing solely on the martial artists.
Honestly, I'm still not sure which one I want.
Are quick-footed fighters that excel at rushing down their enemy with combined attacks at lightning speeds. As masters of hand-to-hand combat, they pride themselves on their quick reflexes and powerful fighting techniques. If DPS is the role that you typically gravitate towards in MMOs, and you like being up in the enemy's face, then the martial artist might be one for you to check out. Dive in, dish
that actually
out
looks like a lot of fun.
high damage combos with incredible flair and style, and take down your opponents with the sheer might of your bare hands. Or feet. The martial artist can kick too, and even fire giant energy beams, but more on that later. The martial artist then splits into, currently, one of 4 different advanced classes: the Striker, War Dancer, Scrapper, and Soul Fist. Starting off with the Striker, this class attacks enemies like a strong wind. Equipped with a variety of physical attacks and fast movement, they excel at aerial combos, hitting and juggling enemies for fantastic crowd control, and then taking advantage of powerful elemental skills to turn the tide in battle. At the core of the Striker is the Esoteric Meter, your identity gauge. Your gauge fills when you perform attacks, and upon filling the various nodes, you're then granted access to an array of powerful esoteric abilities, or ultimate abilities if you like. Different abilities have different costs, and later on it is possible to extend your Esoteric Meter to have 4 nodes, but for now let's keep things simple. Attack to fill the meter, and use these nodes to do big damage. With that in mind, the Striker has a somewhat burst-focused playstyle. Your regular attacks are quick, deal decent damage, and can combo enemies nicely.
Alright, put that on the
but
maybe
really,
list.
You're playing around your big damage moves.
Let's see what the other 3 are.
Of course, one of the great things about Lost Ark are just how amazing some of your moves look. Naturally, you may gravitate towards certain moves
because I really like the monk in Diablo 3, and that looks a lot like the monk.
You have Tiger Emerges, where you advance forward, inflict fire damage, then perform an upward attack which sees a flaming tiger appear at the ground. Storm Dragon Awakening is the Street Fighter special. Tiger knee your enemies in the jaw, you jump, spin your body, then kick to inflict devastating damage on your foes. You can then press the key again to follow up with a downward strike. And the Moonflash Kick is a great way to tackle multiple enemies. You dash forward in this swift motion, following that with a flurry of kicks that pummel the enemy into the dust. In addition to your vast array of skills, you also have your 2 awakening.
That's going to be my new Twitch name, Moonflash.
The first of which is Explosive Heat Awakening, which will see you advance forward and then dish out 4 explosive strikes, creating this huge, devastating, flaming impact. Meanwhile, your other option is True Heavenly Awakening, which sees you gather powerful energy in your legs whilst performing this majestic sweeping motion, only to follow up with 2 devastatingly powerful kicks. Moving on from there, next up we have the War Dancer. This advanced class isn't merely a master of martial arts, they are also capable of augmenting their lightning quick fighting styles with elemental power. They have the ability to store up elemental energy and then unleash it in these devastating attacks and gravity-defying maneuvers. The core of the War Dancer is actually very similar to that of the Striker. The War Dancer too has an Esoteric Meter, which fills when you perform attacks, and those gauges can then be
I like
used
the
to
Striker a
perform
little bit better.
attacks. So again, the War Dancer has a burst-focused playstyle revolving around building meter and pulling off big damage moves. However, it is worth noting, one of the preferred ways to play this class as you move towards endgame revolves around an inscription that actually stops your gauge generation, and instead sees you focus much more on applying your buff and debuffs, and then using your high damage skills to dish out as much damage as possible in a short window. If you intend to go down this route, which tends to be the favourite for War Dancers, then the skills Roar of Courage and Wind's Whisper will be important to you. The former will debuff the enemy and drop their crit resistance, meanwhile the latter will buff your party, increasing attack and move speed. The Sweeping Kick is a very powerful burst damage move, which can sweep enemies off their feet, juggle them, and allow you to deliver a follow-up devastating blow. The Lightning Kick is another fun move to use, seeing you deliver a flurry of kicks, inflicting lightning damage, and finishing up in a powerful strike that calls lightning down from the heavens above. Of course, you also have your awakening skills too, the first of which is Flash Rage Blow. This is a holding skill that will see you dash forward, dish out a flurry of vicious strikes, and end in a huge, powerful shockwave, knocking enemies back. Letting go of the key before the meter maxes out also releases a shockwave. Alternatively, you have Fist of Dominance, which is an incredible looking move. With this, you use
that's
the power
like
of the
right
elementals
out
to
of
pull enemies
Diablo
close.
3.
You then dash within this bubble up to 6 times, striking as you go, and finish up in a huge energy explosion. Definitely one of my favourite moves from a visual point of view. Then moving on from there, you have the Scrapper. Armed with a heavy gauntlet, Scrappers draw on 2 inverse forms of attack energy that feed off of each other in order to deliver non-stop destruction. They have excellent attack, defense, mobility, and overall lasting power, making them a very balanced pick, capable of throwing enemies off guard. So if you really want to go toe-to-toe with your enemies, but also take a few beatings at the same time and still live to tell the tale, the Scrapper has the tools. At the core of the Scrapper is a rather interesting balance meter. You have 2 gauges, the stamina gauge and the shock energy gauge.
Still think I like the first one.
First is yellow, the second is green. You'll also notice that your skills are also either yellow or green. But super simply, using yellow skills will consume stamina and build green meter, and using green skills will consume green meter and build yellow. So what you essentially have with the Scrapper is this back and forth gameplay.
I do like that mechanic though. That's really cool.
Your stamina skills are typically much faster and can provide buffs. Meanwhile, your shock skills are much slower, sometimes have cast times, but do result in big damage. It's also worth noting the Scrapper has lots of stagger and impairment, and can even buff teammates to increase their impairment to help stagger bosses, so they are a great addition to any team. A few cool moves I enjoy using include the Chain Destruction Fist, which sees you smash the ground to shake the earth up to 4 times, with the last strike knocking foes back. Death Sentence will see you generate energy in this ball in front of you before releasing it in a high damage blast, either eviscerating your opponents or sending them flying. You then have your Awakening skills, the first of which is the Undefeated Dragon King, another favourite move of mine since it sees you leap into the sky and summon 2 flaming dragons that dive bomb the enemy in this huge explosion that sees the ground erupt. Alternatively, you have Blast of Ruination, where you focus all your energy in this giant energy gauntlet, which you then punch forward, resulting in energy waves being dispersed. And
that's also very cool.
Then finally, the last of the 4 advanced classes is the Soul Fist. The Soul Fist switches between melee and ranged attacks, which can be used together for explosively powerful combos. They channel a special energy called Adamance, which they can imbue into their abilities or use to sustain themselves through fights. So if you want a mix of both martial arts and mystical abilities, then the Soul Fist offers some great variety. At the core of the Soul Fist is the Chi meter. As part of your identity, pressing Z will buff you up, increasing your energy regeneration, reducing skill cooldowns, and increasing attack speed and damage. There are 3 levels to this. The first one lasts longest, but has the smallest buffs, but with each subsequent press, the buffs increase and the duration decreases.
So what level of Super Saiyan do you want to go?
It's almost out, then jump to the next level.
That's what that is.
And repeat, and naturally use this window to dish out high burst damage. The Soul Fist has a lot of very cool looking moves. Heavenly Squash will quite literally summon a massive spirit-like palm from the sky to squash enemies. Deadly Finger essentially turns your finger into a gun while you thrust energy into the sky, hitting multiple times. Or even Magnetic Palm, where you smash the ground, draw enemies into the energy field, and then explodes. But your Awakening abilities are where you really shine. One of the biggest damage moves for the Soul Fist is World Decimation. You leap into the sky and begin concentrating energy before throwing
That's called
down
a Spirit Bomb? I've seen Dragon Ball Z, I know how this works.
Damage on impact.
That is literally the Dragon Ball Z character.
Alternatively, you have Decimation Ray, where you hold the button down and fire a powerful concentrated energy beam.
Again, that could be like a Kamehameha blast.
Where a Comrade Spirit appears behind you to lend you further energy for even greater damage. So there you have it. That's a quick look at the Martial Artist and the 4 advanced classes. They are all fantastic picks, offering excellent damage.
Yeah, I think the first one and the third
bonus
one are the
combo,
2 that I like the
juggle,
most.
In general, take out your enemies with flashy fighting moves. Again, massive shout out to Amazon for very kindly sponsoring this video. Don't forget to click the link in the description box down below if you want to find out more about Lost Ark, and of course, keep it locked on the channel for more Lost Ark content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Cool. So yeah, at some point, probably this week or next week, there's still 2 more of those to have them release and watch. So we'll cover the last 2 as soon as they decide to come out. But yeah, for those who are watching on YouTube, that'll go ahead and do it for this video. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.